Look, we all know, we've all heard it. It's no secret. If you're wanting to lose fat or weight sustainably, 90% of your results are going to come from diet. You can't outwork a bad diet. Now, with that, 96% of people that diet fail. So why is it that only 4% of the people that attempt to lose weight lose it? Safe to say that most people are going about this process all wrong. In this video, I'm going to outline 4 steps that are going to make sticking to any sort of diet, creating your meals much easier, much more doable, sustainable, and in fact, absolutely necessary for long-term progress. Okay, so here we go. Number 1, it has to be nutrient dense. Your meals have to be nutrient dense, meaning it has to be protein, fiber, and water based. Okay, let that be the foundation. Now, it doesn't mean 100% of your meals have to be this way, but if you're trying to lose weight sustainably, it's safe to say that your meals are lacking protein, fiber, water base as the foundation. Because what we know for most people, meals that are comprised mostly of these are going to keep people full very long while also being high in nutrients. Okay, so let that be the foundation. If you're 40% of the way there, 50% of the way there, is going to be a huge upgrade. If you're 50%, getting to 70%, going to be a huge upgrade, huge progress will be seen. Okay, now foods are going to be high in protein and fiber and water. Now water, naturally, we know what that is. Protein and fiber, think meat, green leafy vegetables. Number 2, calories do matter. Calorie consideration is an absolute must. So even though we're using protein, fiber, and water as the foundation, we can overeat these things, right? So even too much of a good thing will keep us from making progress in our fat loss. So how many calories should you use? Well, that's going to be different for everybody. But there's a lot of calorie calculators out there, ways to find your macros, what your calories should be based on your goals and your time frame. So I can link some of these into the video. But one thing I will say, these things are not an exact science, meaning they give us a good framework, a good template to work within. So for example, if a calculator determines that 1,500 calories is what you should consume on a given day to reach your 20-pound fat loss over the next several months, the only way we know if that's accurate is if you test it, right? So you have to try it, and then you measure your fat loss along the way to see if it's working. If it is, of course, then you probably found a good range of calories to stick to. Number 3, it has to be convenient. Now this is something we often neglect, right? We often neglect that we have unique preferences, likes, dislikes. So convenience does play a factor in this, right? So what's convenient for you isn't going to be convenient for me. Now, some things that can make this more convenient are supplementation. So protein supplements, meal replacement supplements, bars, things of that nature. Now, I don't suggest using these things long-term or as a crutch long-term. It's simply something to introduce as you're trying to find your footing. It can help you, again, keep protein high. By keeping protein high, remember, you're going to be full longer and you're going to have good nutrient-dense food. So when putting this together, it's important to ask yourself, what does your day look like? Where are you going to be at each moment of the day? Where are you going to be around mealtime, snack time? Once you've determined that, then you can determine what's going to be convenient. So for example, if you know you're going to be on the road at lunchtime, what restaurants or what places are going to be nearby where you can get, again, protein, fiber, and water-based meals that are going to be convenient. So even going through something like a McDonald's, for example, if you're getting a burger, obviously get it without the fries, double the meat, add extra veggies, toss the bun. There you've determined or been able to create a high protein, fiber-based meal, right? So it's a practice, but making this convenient is going to be absolutely crucial to long-term success. Now, again, it could be meal prepping. It could be, creating meals ahead of time, cooking protein ahead of time, having vegetables, brought up ahead of time. These are all things that you have to consider. So again, how is it going to be convenient? That's going to be different for everybody. And number 4, this is another one that we often, for whatever reason, neglect. It has to taste good. This does not have to be something that sucks. In fact, it can. It can't suck if you're going to do this long term. So again, you have unique preferences physically, mentally, emotionally. We have to honor these things. So what foods are going to be protein, fiber, water based, that are going to be convenient, nutrient dense, calorie considerate, but that also tastes good. So get creative with seasonings, get creative with different combinations of foods, textures, flavors, all of those things. It's so important, again, to do this long term, it has to fit all four models, right? So again, to recap, it has to be nutrient dense. By being nutrient dense, it's going to naturally be lower calorie. It has to be convenient, and it has to taste good. You can hit all four of these, which may sound like no-brainers, but if you can go through a mental checklist when you're putting together meals, you're looking for snacks, you're putting your day together, you're going through and deciding what are we going to have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can go through this this four little checklist. It's going to make deciding what foods to have that much easier. So hopefully this little framework works. Let me know what you think of it. Test it out. Let me know if you have questions. And I look forward to hearing from you on this.